This hour, we're just going to talk about something that's very important that me and my company feels very important. So we want to hopefully make this a conversational piece. As you guys can see, I have some little tasty candy up here. And this candy is going to go out to people that participate. So that way it's more interactive, right? I don't want to put anyone to sleep. I don't want anyone to be snoring, at least not yet. After my presentation, feel free to sleep all you want. So if anyone wants to participate, please feel free to do so at any time. You may interrupt me. You may raise your hand. Just don't throw things at me, and we're all good. All right? So a little bit of background for me. My name is Ruben, and I work for a company called House Call Pro. What House Call Pro is, it is a platform to help field service professionals such as yourself run and grow their business from their mobile device. And I didn't come to this presentation to pitch you on the merits of House Call Pro itself, but what I do want to do is I want to talk about something that is very important because we have a lot of data from a lot of businesses, thousands of businesses, okay? And we see what works and what doesn't work. We see the companies that succeed massively, and we see the companies that kind of fail and then have to sort of fold, right? And we also see the ones in between that sort of do it right and sort of not do it right across all the different industry verticals. And from that data, we have some pretty good insights. And not a lot of people have this kind of data, right? Because we can learn from our own mistakes on our own company, but to be able to aggregate thousands of other companies and see sort of what works and what doesn't. And that's what this presentation is about. So hopefully you guys can learn something from this as well as me learning, because I've been learning this entire time, and it's fascinating. So in the tech world, we have this thing called UX, and UX stands for user experience. And what we found in the tech space is that user experience is everything. Companies that are customer-centric succeed, assuming they have all their other ducks in a row. But customer centricity is amazingly powerful as a tool in order to thrive in any business, period, whether it be tech or whether it be window washing, pressure washing, you name it, okay? I sort of coined this new term, which is customer user experience, which is a little redundant, but I thought it sounded cool, so that's why I came up with the name. CUX. Eventually, hopefully at some point, like, they're gonna actually make this a thing, so please spread this word out that I just made up to, you know, make it, I hope I see it floating around. But I believe that it's very important because a customer, as you know, is everything, right? Our customers are you guys. And you guys are everything to our business. Your customers are everything to your business, for without them, you have no revenue and you have no business, okay? So we're gonna talk about some of the best practices of how to create the most immersive, amazing customer experience you can, and it's gonna be backed by data. It's not gonna be anecdotal. I'm not gonna just say, oh, this is how I feel it should be. It's because we know what works. We've seen it. I've seen companies, myself, grow from owner-operator to 50 truck, 50 tech operations, okay? Within a matter of like a year and a half. And they all do this, okay? So this is why it's important. All right, so let's start this off. What drives revenue the most? Sales. Well, yeah, so, okay. What else? Service, customer service. Yeah. What else? I mean, there's lots of levers here, guys. Come on. What drives revenue the most? Demand. Okay, demand. Upselling, yes, I like it. Kind of Family Feud style. Let's see how many of these are up here. Any other suggestions? Organic, good. Okay, so let's go down the list. In no particular order, marketing, right? I'm the head of marketing for my company, and I'll tell you this right now, because it's my job. Marketing drives a lot of revenue, right? If you do it right, it drives a lot of revenue, all right? Pricing strategy. How do you price in relation to your customers and to your competitors? Sorry, right? Are you gonna undercut? Are you gonna go up? Are you gonna differentiate off of your quality of service? You're gonna differentiate off of low cost, high volume. Okay, upsell, cross sell is up there. Congrats on that one. SEO. How many of you guys use SEO or SEM, search engine optimization? Kind of a weird, dark, scary thing sometimes, especially if you don't know it. But once you sort of crack it, it actually helps. Good equipment, right? You're gonna do the job with bad equipment, you're gonna not do a good job, most likely. And customer experience. This one, in this presentation, we're talking about customer experience. And the reason why, and I like this, you'll see that my slides have very, very little text in them because I think the storytelling is really important. And it's more about telling the story with visuals. Customer experience is more than just tactile, process-based things. It's actually a sensory immersion. And by that I mean you have to involve every single sense, the 5 senses, all of them, as much as possible, right? The second you unlock this, you will unlock tremendous revenue upsell potential, for sure. So you have to stop thinking about it as like, yeah, I got to do this job and job A, job B, job C. You got to go down the list. No, it's really about creating this world of experience, because that's the only thing that's going to, get those customers to tell everyone they know about you, and to increase your reviews and your referrals, etc. Okay? I want to share this quote from Steve Jobs here. Oh, it's all techie. We'll get off the tech thing. But this guy obviously made a big impact on the world. All right? Get closer than ever to your customers. So close, in fact, that you tell them what they need before they realize it themselves. I think that's really powerful, because as the experts in your craft, your customers won't really know what they need or what they want. And it is your job as stewards of your craft to inform that, okay? Get that close and provide such a good experience where you're telling them what they need before they need it. And I think that's what Steve Jobs does. He did that for sure. Because before, like, no one was walking around with, like, no iPads or iPods or any of that stuff. Now everyone feels like they need it in their life, right? So he did something right in that regard. We can do the same in our business. So where does this all start? Where does the user experience start? A lot of people equate user experience directly with just the job. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to be presentable. I'm going to wear my uniform, my shirt, whatever it is that you have for your company. I'm going to do certain things, say certain things, maybe drop a couple of taglines, slogans, whatever, right? That's it, right? And then when I'm done with the job, I'm going to respect the person's home. I'm going to do all that stuff. I finish the job, and I'm just going to leave, and then that's where the experience ends, right? No. The experience does not start and end with a job. A lot of people, they forget about before the job, right? And after the job. And this sounds really simplistic, but you'd be surprised at how many people actually completely ignore this, and especially this, okay? Because what it is it's a cyclical pattern. It's not a standalone, like, the job is the only thing that matters. Because your job isn't just to do one job. It's to do a job so well so that it lines up the next job with the same customer, and so forth and so forth. So you have to pay attention to the pre and the post. And we're going to talk about what that means in detail. We're going to dive into the pre, the job, and the post job in 3 separate sections. So let's talk about first your experience mediums. You guys have tools that you use, right, for your craft. You have a lot of cool tools in the expo right now. I'm just going around and I'm fascinated by all the different gadgets and all the new stuff that comes out every year. It's just always like really innovative stuff, and it's awesome. I love that. But I'm talking here about the tools in your arsenal in order to create this experience. What are those tools? Let's go over them quickly. Live, so in person. That's a very important tool because you never get a second chance at a first impression, right? The phone. I'm sure at some point or another you're going to talk to your customer on the phone. So that's another medium, okay? Email. How many of you guys use email right now to market to your customers? Okay, yeah. We're dealing with this thing where, like, all of a sudden those millennials are getting older and starting to, like, buy homes and do that kind of, well, not really buy homes because it's, like, unaffordable. At least where I'm from, it's, like, impossible to buy a house. But, like, millennials are coming too. They're getting more money. They're getting, out of college, and they like to communicate through email, Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So, like, email is a really good tool. Print. How many of you guys use print advertising? EDDM, postcard, any type of flyering? Okay. Actually, I'm surprised. Are you sure? That was, like, not a lot of people. Okay, there you go. You guys just don't want to participate. Like, whatever. All right. Text. How many of you guys use text? There are some insanely, like, insightful studies on text. Like, the new generation it's kind of antisocial. They don't want to talk to you. Text is preferred 10 times over phoning, right? I don't know how, personally I feel that that's terrible because I'm a social person. I like, in-person stuff and talking. I think it's a lot more effective. But let's not kid ourselves. The new generation is all about text. They'll text someone when they're in the same room. Like, I'll be, like, this close to you. I'll be like, hey, what's up? It's like, I can talk to you. But, like, no, I'm just going to text. I'm going to be on my Instagram account. That's just what it is. It's the reality. So we have to embrace it. So that's a great channel there. Okay, and then social. How many of you guys use social media? That's what I mean, social media, right? To market or to talk to your customers, to engage, okay? Like, everyone's hand should be up because that's like this frontier, right? Okay, so these are all your tools. Now ask yourself, if you're not using any one of these, then you should, because why not? You have all these tools available to you, so why not use them? Well, let's talk about how we use them and in what sort of cadence we use them. So I'm going to do a little crash course on marketing real quick, because that's my specialty. And I want to break this down because a lot of people don't quite understand what marketing is. It's kind of nebulous. Last year I did this whole thing. Did any of you guys come to my thing last year? No, of course not. All right. I'm kind of sad about that. So I did this whole presentation on marketing and what it is and remarketing your customers. So there's 3 different branches of marketing that are incredibly effective. A lot of people just kind of combine them into this kind of big thing, but I like to separate them, and there's a reason why. Thank you marketing is one of them, okay? So what we're fighting for with our customers isn't necessarily wallet space, but it's more time space, right? Which means there's so much stuff that people nowadays do, and they're busier than they've ever been in their lives. I mean, they're just juggling things left and right. We become such multitaskers, and we have data at our fingertips. We have so many, we're just getting flooded with marketing and ads and things, and those ads that chase you around the internet. When you look at something on Amazon, it just follows you around. Like, it's completely overwhelming, okay? So what are you doing to be top of mind with your customer? Thank you marketing is perfect for top of mind, because you're not saying, I want something from you. You're saying, thank you. And that goes a really long way, right? If you're not saying thank you, you should, because that enhances the experience, right? So you're sealing the experience with the thank you marketing. You're building loyalty. It's an amazing referral tool, right? That being grateful for them as a customer. And I think that a lot of people don't do this. They just do the job and they don't think, you know what, thank you, because you're my livelihood. You're helping me and my business thrive. And sometimes we might think it, we might think that our customer knows that, but unless you tell them or do something to show them, then they're not gonna know, right? Ask for reviews. Perfect segue, right? Thank you so much. If you're satisfied with your service, can you please leave me a review? And we all know that reviews, when people, especially millennials, they get online, oh no, I'm gonna check whatever. They're gonna go to Yelp and they're gonna go, oh, Yelp, like 5 stars. Oh, they have 300 5-star reviews. I'm gonna book them, because they're obviously legitimate, right? So we do need to take that into account. And we have some people in there, some of our friends that broadly in the trade show, like they help people with review generation, and it's amazing. I think that's sort of the next wave. That's where we need to go. So that's thank you marketing is the first piece. Second piece, reminder marketing, and this one's crucial because people just assume that you're going to remember that you have to book all of the things that they have to worry about. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, I need to get my windows washed again, you know, whatever, 6 months after they did it, or during maybe like a bad season. They're not going to remember. So you have to assume they will forget. And if you assume they forget, what are you doing about it to remind them? You have to use reminder marketing. The timing is everything on that. It is the most direct remarketing ROI. And my presentation last year was based around remarketing to your existing customers is 5 times cheaper than getting a new customer. Okay? 5 times. So you got to ask yourself, if you're just starting, then you don't have no customers. But if you have customers, how much are you remarketing to them? Because it's 5 times cheaper to get repeat business and to get referrals and reviews from your existing customers than it is to get one new customer. Okay? It's also twice as good. And we'll talk about why. You can upsell for the next visit as well when you remind them. Like, oh, you did this last time, but you know, I got this cool new package here, do this. Cross-sell, upsell is crucial for revenue. It's a great revenue driver. And then we got the discount push. In reminder, you know what? We got this seasonal special. We're going to discount our price, etc. The third piece of marketing is referral marketing. So far we have thank you, reminder, and now we're going to talk about referral marketing. How many of you guys think that referral is the biggest driver of your marketing efforts? Yeah. Why? Experience, you said that right, exactly. Experience from someone you trust. It doesn't even matter. Your competitor could be marketing like crazy with AdWords and Facebook and doing all this stuff. If their neighbor goes, oh, I use that guy, it's like instant. For us, it works the same way for my company, right? Referrals are the best channel. Why? Because A, it's free, right? You don't have to pay for it. Well, I mean, you pay for it indirectly, but you don't have to directly go, hey, refer me to this person, here's $50, but it's organic. It builds that trust gap, and trust is everything. When you're going to people's houses, the biggest obstacle is trust. Do I trust this person to come into my house? Do I trust, like, let's say my wife is alone in the house. Is that okay? Like, do we trust this person to come in when I'm not there, or when I'm there to, like, not steal my stuff and to not, like, destroy things in my house, etc.? The trust is a big deal. So referrals are insanely powerful. And are we harnessing that power enough? It's your cheapest marketing channel. It's your highest lead to job conversion. And you have a choice, right? You can either go like referral or review, or you can do both. You can do, you know what? You had a good experience. Thank you so much. Take the survey. Please review me. And also, if you know of anybody that could use my service, please let me know. Because what that does too is that usually referrals are geocentric. And what I mean by that is you're in a neighborhood, right? Like, you got that one home. And if you turn that person into a cheerleader or an evangelist for you, they're going to tell everyone around their house. And what you can do is you can create a job path that is right there. So you don't have to do this thing where you're pinballing around town like this, is driving everywhere with your text and like wasting time because your jobs are so far apart from each other, right? You're doing it in a way where it's and there's a lot of technology out there now that helps you do that a lot better, like how to optimize your stuff, right? Like, I'm going to go here, so I can do the most amount of jobs in the least amount of time. But what you want to do is you want to convert people in clusters, in geographical clusters. That's perfect. Your tech doesn't even have to leave the square block radius. Just hit up every house, right? That's the ideal, right? And you have to give them a clear path. This is another mistake that people make, is that they assume that saying, hey, give me a review, and that somehow the customer is going to magically go, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do. No, you got to make it so it's like, this is what you do. You click on this thing right here, and then you give me hopefully 5 stars or whatever the measurement is, right? And so you got to give them a clear path. You got to remove the friction so it's easy for them to review you. There's a lot of sites that do that. There's a lot of software that does that too, where it makes it easy for you to get reviews. But don't assume that they're going to just know how to do it. You just got to tell them. You got to let them know how, okay? And you got to incentivize them, right? What are you going to, okay, so you did a good job, but okay, that's fine. But what else do I get? Like, oh yeah, if you refer somebody, you get maybe, 10% off, 20% off your next job, right? That'll incentivize it a little bit for all the other people that are in your pipeline. So that's a really quick crash course on the 3 different prongs of marketing that we've seen work incredibly well in doubling people's businesses in less than a year if you do all 3 of those. How many people in this room are doing all 3 of those right now? Okay, good. So if you're not, you got to start analyzing it in that way, because this is what we're in the game for. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to learn, and we're trying to increase our revenue, right? And that's how we do it. We have to use marketing. A lot of people think marketing is this necessary evil. Well, if you do it right, it's really not an evil, because all it is it's showing value. And then you're telling everybody, there's an awareness phase of it. You're telling people the value that you deliver. It's like, oh, that's another marketing scheme. No, if what you're doing is offering quality service, then marketing should be quality marketing for your quality service, right? Okay. So now, back in that one slide that I showed you that I had the pre-job, job, and the post-job. Let's break that down now. So we got the before the job is, and I'm going to give you guys an example, okay? This isn't necessarily what needs to happen, but this is an example of what could happen during a job, or before the job in this particular case, before the job, to maximize the pathway to get repeat business from your customer and to create that amazing experience that we talked about. When the job is scheduled, send them a text message. People love being texted when it comes to this, because in the past, what it's been like, I'm sure you guys use Arrival Windows, right? Who uses Arrival Windows here, right? No pun intended on the Windows part, but like Arrival Windows, right? It's like, okay, I might come between, 45 minutes to an hour between this time or other time. But like most of the time, the customer's in the dark. They don't know. If you have some other thing, maybe your previous job goes over by like a long shot. And it's like, are you keeping in touch? Adding a text message when the job is scheduled to notify, okay, like I'm in the loop. I know what's going on. The communication is enhanced. The trust is bridged, okay? So let's say you send a job text message when the job has been scheduled. Then you send them an email, a prep email. Prep for what? I don't know, pop your screens. You got to move stuff around your house. You got to prepare for me to come to your house. they'll like that too. And the reason why they'll like that is because it's like, they don't know your craft. You're the pro. They're not the pro. They're not going to, it's like you tell them, hey, I'm going to be coming to your house. This is what you need to do in preparation for that, right? And you guys know better than anyone. I can't tell you what it is because I live in a condo building right now, and they didn't do that. And so apparently I was supposed to pop my screens off, and I didn't. And so it was like, it didn't work well for me. But I wish I knew, you know. And that's just what happened. So send a prep email. How many of you guys send prep emails? And there is prep to do, right? For you guys' job, like you have to do something, right? You're not just gonna like just leave it the way it is, right? Okay. So prep email. This all happens before the job. The next thing, when you're on your way, send an on my way text message. I'm en route to your home. They love this. They absolutely love this. You think, oh, I'm bothering them too much. You're not. They want to know what's going on. Okay? They want to be in the loop because they haven't in the past. It's like, I don't know, I guess the window washer's coming sometime today. I don't know what time, and I don't know where they are, and I don't know how long they'll be here, and I don't know, I'm going to stay home the whole time. This makes it super easy, and it reduces the friction. On my way text message, we see because our platform offers these text notifications like automated. It's just like does it automatically when you schedule a job, when you're on your way. It really, really helps. The people that turn this off, they experience a massive decrease in their, not only in their referral building, but also in their return business, right? Repeat business, for sure. Because this enhances the experience a lot. And then Nab Tracking. How cool would it be if they could see you on your way to their house in a map? Kind of like when you do one of those rideshare apps like Uber or Lyft, and you're like, where's my Lyft or Uber driver? Oh, they're right there, and I see exactly when they're coming, and I know when they're going to arrive. That's amazing. And in this space, it hasn't happened yet until now. And it's exciting because it makes it so you can be way ahead of your competition. It's like, how many of you guys have an app you can book me through? I have an app you can book me through. And by the way, you can see me on my way to your house to do the job. Love it. This makes the experience amazing. And it's something as simple as that goes like, wow, like, oh, I had this window washer guy, and like, I saw him on my way to my house with the map. It was cool. It was like kind of like Uber, but it wasn't. But it's like, this is really cool, and I've never done that before. And like these guys they're not used to it, you know? Like, so you surprise the crap out of them, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, who does that? And then they leave with this like amazing experience, and then they tell all their friends, like, oh, dude, like, download this app and book this guy. And it works really well. So this is all before the job. Notice how many touch points? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 touch points before the job. Okay? It's just an example. You can do more. We'll just kind of go minimalistic here. 4. Perfect amount. Proven by data. 4 touch points. And they don't have to be exactly this, like text and email and then blah, blah, blah. It could be other things, like a flyer, like the EDDM flyer, a phone call, throwing in the text. All the other mediums that we talked about, throw those in. But just think about it that way. How many touch points are you giving before the job? Is it 1? Is it 0? Because if you make it 4, it's going to help you. And if it doesn't help you, you can come back next year, and we'll do like a dunk tank, and you can like dunk me underwater when I'm throwing the ball and the thing, like fair attractions. Because I guarantee you it's going to help you, period. Okay, so that's before the job. Now let's start talking about the job itself. So during the job, trust. I think that this is the most important thing. I already talked about it. Trust is the biggest gap that you have to fill. Am I going to be a respectable, well-presented, well-put-together, quality service that's not going to swindle you, that's not going to break your home, that's not going to mistreat anyone there, pets, whatever. I'm going to have this sort of like moral guideline, and the trust, if you break it, you're done. That's it. And I'm sure people have experienced that. Even the slightest little thing that violates that trust between you and the customer, it just ends it. Not only does it end it for you and the customer, it ends it for like, that person will be an anti-referral machine. They'll be like, no, don't book that guy ever. He's terrible, or she's terrible, whatever. The last thing you want, especially online. Oof, don't even get me started on online trolls. Like I'm sure you guys have noticed it when you get a bad review, because people are 10 times more likely to leave a bad review than they are a good review. If you blow their mind, they're like, whatever. They're not going to say anything sometimes. But if you barely tick them off, they're going to go online. You better believe they're going to be like, this is the worst I've ever seen. Because people have this really weird thing where they online, because they're masked by the screen of anonymity, that they can say whatever they want. There's a lot of cyberbullying going on all over the place. So you don't want that. And the way you do that is you build the trust. You build the trust is the #1 priority. Okay? Reliability. quality of service and how reliable is it? And this is where it comes down to like, how well do you manage your process as a business, right? Do you show up on time? Do you show up with the right tools? Do you show up with the right tools and do the job in the right amount of time, right? That reliability is a consistency thing, and I also encourage everyone to measure their metrics. Like, how long does it take to do a certain job on average? Do you guys know? And do you hold your techs accountable for that? This type of house takes this long to do normally. And do you go in and you go like, this is your benchmark as an employee? You gotta try to stay within those bounds, because that helps. So as you'll see, like there's like a repeating motif here that's going on, and that's like analytics. You have to start thinking about your business as a process machine and as an analytics platform where that you can really dive in and figure out like, how can I optimize every single element of it, okay? Which includes the job time, job duration, let's say, or maybe even drive time or routes and things like that, okay? Because by chipping away at each of these elements, you're gonna see that your bottom line, your revenues just increase. Expertise, obviously, this is a no-brainer. Are you an amateur or are you a pro? And how pro are you? And can you communicate that proness to your customer? Okay, this is during the job, all right? Most of the time, I mean, what I've seen at least, because I go around, I do a lot of video work and stuff for my company, and I go around and I shadow some of these service professionals, like plumbers, carpet cleaners, window washers, everybody. And a lot of times what will happen is they'll show up and they'll be really good at what they do, but they actually, when the customer's there, they don't explain they kind of assume that they don't want to bother the customer at all, but sometimes the customer wants to know, like, you got to show that you're a pro. Like, this is, your expertise showing is really important during the job itself. Transparency. This is a really important one because a lot of people don't know. I mean, the biggest analogy that I can draw is a car mechanic. Everyone's been in that situation where you go, okay, my check engine light's on. I'm going to take this thing in. Okay, I'm going to go to the mechanic now. I don't know how cars work. I sort of know how cars work, but not really. The mechanic's going to tell me, like, that one critical moment where you're sitting there waiting for the damage, like, oh my gosh, is this going to be another like $10,000? Oh, my transmission shot, like this little part of your engine's messed up. Most of the time, though, what the car mechanics, well, a lot of car mechanics will do is there's no transparency. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's $20,000, but I'm going to try to tell you what it is, but try to tell you what you need, but you don't really need it, and all these other things. And I think that's where they get such a bad rep. Are there good car mechanics? Absolutely. But a lot of them will do that because there's no transparency. Like, how much does this really cost? Do I actually need this? Do I not need this? Are you upselling me just to get the upsell when I don't really need it, or are you actually trying to provide extra value and quality to the service? So transparency is crucial because transparency will destroy trust if you don't have it, okay? Attention to detail, super important during the job, okay? Because that's one of those things that'll come back on your report card and be like, oh, yep, they did this one thing wrong, or this one thing was left behind. And it's kind of like, the analogy that I have for this is like wallpaper, like wallpaper, okay? You go into a room and it's a big wall. You're not gonna notice everything else. You're gonna notice that one little air bubble in that one spot where you didn't do it right, just that one spot. It's 0.001% of the wallpaper, but that's all you're gonna focus on. You're gonna just go, that little thing, even though look at all this other space that's perfect. And the customer will do something similar. It'll be like, you do everything right except for that one little thing. And they're going to pick that thing and they're going to go like this now. And then they're going to go on Yelp and they're going to be like, oh, that one little thing, I hate it. I hate it. So attention to detail is crucial, okay? And attitude, super important. Are you showing up indifferent? Are you showing up not caring? Are you showing up bringing in the drama from the previous job into the new job? All these things are things we have to talk about with our techs and obviously with ourselves about, like, how are we coming in? Are we resetting before we go into a new customer's home, right? Okay. So that's during the job. Now let's go after the job. And I feel like out of the three, before the job, during the job, and after the job, this is probably one of the more crucial ones because this is what sets you up for success for the next job and for referrals and for reviews. So this is what it looks like if you're doing it right. This is what it looks like from the pros that we have on our system that do it right. This is what they do. Job finished text message. The job's done, especially if they're not home, right? Oh, I left my key under the mat. Okay, I'm done. Have we ever told our customer when the job is done? Send them a text message. Job is done, right? Next one, electronic invoice. Yeah, you can send it to them via like hard mail, but electronic is so instant and it keeps them in the loop of exactly what's going on. How much does it charge? So send them an electronic invoice as soon as that job is done. If they haven't paid you on the field, you send them an electronic invoice. There's software to do that. Obviously, we do that as well, but there's other tools you can use. Okay. Next one. Post-job email. Okay, so what is this? This is essentially the email that you send. You could say thank you for using our services. We really appreciate servicing your home, and we really hope that blah blah blah. The quality was amazing of the service, and so you send them a post email. Next touch. Thank you postcard. Postcards are actually kind of an interesting thing because in the age of electronics, what's happening is like everyone's going to email, right? But like what's happening with the direct mail side of things is that it's just not existent anymore almost. So it's kind of a treat. It's kind of a treat when you receive. When was the last time you guys received a postcard? Like think about it. Like it's been a long time since I received a postcard. But when I get it, it's like, whoa, this is different, right? It's not an email. It's not a text. It's a postcard. Especially the postcard is personalized, right? Because if it's a personalized message, I think it's a really good token. It really builds that trust. It builds that experience as well. It's like, yeah, my window washer guy, I got a postcard from him. That's kind of cool. And then you know where they put that postcard? They put it on their fridge, right? Hopefully it has your logo on it. So it's like, oh, constant reminder, top of mind effect from the other slide, right? Top of mind, you're in the forefront. So thank you postcard. Referral email. Now granted, guys, I'm not saying do this like the day after the job. I could send them like 12 things. You space it out, right? And the way you space it out is up to you. But what we've seen effective is like, well, when the job is done, you automatically do this. You automatically do this one too, right? Because this is two different mediums. The email can go out, I don't know, 2 weeks later, a week later. Thank you postcard, maybe a month after the job, right? How frequently do you guys service a home? Ideally, what do you tell them? Yearly? Quarterly? Oh, I'm getting like different answers. Like what? Once a month?
It's all different industries here, but usually if you're talking about the homeowners, usually once a year. Some ones are qualified to pay more than that, but usually 1 a year. If you're talking about commercial, that is once a week or once every week.
Okay. Okay, so you actually did it perfectly. So it depends on your business. So you should have a bunch of different tracks. It shouldn't be just one fixed thing. But what I'm saying is there's a cadence, there's a flow of how you should do it. This is the amount of touches that we need. Like so far we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one is reminder postcard. And this one's the clincher because this goes, all right, now I've provided this amazing pre-job experience and then the job experience was great. And now the post-job experience is even better because I'm getting all this stuff, post email, thank you postcard, referral email. And now it's time to book me again. Here you go. Right? And then they book you again. And it's amazing because at that point, you just do it all over. Like this, okay? And every time you build that reliability, you build that trust, they're telling everyone. Everybody knows. Everybody in their neighborhood knows. Everyone in their kids' soccer team knows. Everybody in the Boy Scouts of America know. Whatever it is, the networking groups, they all know because that's how you spread. You got to provide that like amazing experience that nobody else does. Because I guarantee you, most people in the service industry do not do this. The ones that do this, they excel. They excel so much further because it's kind of a pain because you think about it, right? Like look at how many touches. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the previous slide, the pre-job one had 4. Yeah, it's like 10 touches. 10. That's a lot. That's a lot of manual work. But it pays off in the end because of that loyalty that you build, the recurrence that you build, and your reputation, your referrals, your reviews, everything will start to build up, okay? All right, so why is this important? And I just touched on this. Like, it's important because in a lot of industries really focus in on this, and I think it's right. There's different types of customers, right? There's your average customer, the one that you kind of do the job, and it's like, okay, maybe I'll use you again, but maybe not. It's kind of like the average, okay, customer. You'll take it because it's a job, and it's an average customer. You got your loyal customer. Loyal customer will come back to you because you're their person for that particular industry. And then there's what we should try to convert every single one of our customers that we can, evangelists. Evangelists are incredible allies for you to have, because these are force multipliers. You provide that amazing experience and they'll do all this other work for you that you don't even have to do. They are your marketing turbo cannons. They will tell everybody and everything about how good you are. Anytime you come up at a cocktail party, holiday party, whatever, it's be like bam, bam, bam. You focus on these people. If you focus your marketing on creating evangelists, 10x. 10x, easy. In how much you get a return for. Because you can spend money till you're blue in the face with advertising. It's not going to increase that experience that you provide, and it's not going to increase these people getting forged and just like becoming these soldiers for you that just work incessantly around the clock. And it's not even work for them. They love it. They love talking about it. I've seen it. I've seen it at this trade show. Literally at this trade show, we have people that use their system and they're just going around telling everybody else, like, oh, you got, like I'm talking to someone like a new person that's not a customer, and somebody else walks by and they just come in and they're like, oh yeah, this is amazing. And they're like, and it's like they're evangelists, and it's like, it's great. It's great to see that. And I'm literally seeing it right here, right now. You can feel it, okay? And if you're not elevating your business to that level where this is what you're looking for, these evangelists, then you need to adjust for it, because these evangelists will just make your business fly, because customer-centric businesses are the ones that succeed the most. Hands down, proven fact. It's just what it is. All right? So think about your own business. Think about your own setup right now. How much time are you focusing on creating evangelists? Because I guarantee you, it's not nearly as high as a priority as it should be. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, for the most part, it's like, okay, am I really, really putting the customer as the number one thing? Not the product, not the service, but the customer. Is the customer leaving with this like, oh my gosh, I've never experienced anything like this before? Are you blowing their minds? Because if we're not, that's what we should focus on. Blow their mind, they become evangelists. Instant marketing channel, you don't have to spend money on it. Except for maybe to send a couple of postcards and text messages, right? Like, you do that, right? It doesn't take, like the amount of commensurate effort to do that for what you get back is insane. It's like this. Do a little bit of work, this much return. Very few other things will give you such a magnifying effect, such a multiplier effect. Okay? 10 touches. This is a little bit of an artistic slide here. We have deciphered that 10 touches are the perfect amount of touches in order to really deliver that experience. Which medium you use is up to you. Again, from that slide that had all the different mediums, live, social, text, all that stuff. The cadence is also up to you, depending on your market. But you should start thinking about it. And if you analyze right now, how many touches are you providing your customer? How many touches on average? If that number is like below 5, then we have some work to do. Right? If the number is like 2, we have a lot of work to do, okay? You should really try to get it up to that 7 to 10 touches, because I know for a fact it works. It's not just me, again, saying this because I feel it. It's because we see it. I've seen companies just excel, grow, and get that repeat business like no other from doing this. Now, it's a pain, right? Because like, how the hell are we going to remember in our minds, like, oh, I got to text this person exactly 1 week after I do this, and then I got to send this email like manually, right? So there's solutions out there for you. Then my next slide covers that. You're not alone. Dramatic. But there are things out there that help you automate these processes, okay? That make it easier for you. There's tools that do one specific thing. There's tools that do all of it. There's tools that try to do some things and not other things. But there are things, okay? And what these solutions are built to do is to save you time. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about sending that postcard or sending that email or sending that text message. You don't have to, it's out of your mind. It happens, okay? And I encourage you guys to check it out. In the room over there, there are a lot of solutions for doing just this that I just discussed. I'm sure you guys have already talked to them. Maybe you guys are already using them, some of them, right? Including our software. Because we were in the business of making it easier for you guys to run your business, right? So you're working on your business, not in your business, right? On it, magnifying, multiplying. How much efficiency can you get? If you had a system that could automatically send postcards whenever you set them to do that, as a rule, or emails to go off whenever you want that to happen based on jobs. Do that pre-job, that during the job, and that post-job flow. What can we do to cut? Because let's be honest, guys, we're racing against time. It's just time. Do we have the time to do this? Do we have the time to manually create these things? And the answer is probably no. I mean, if we're just starting, then maybe we do. But no, can we spend our time elsewhere, doing other things, like doing more jobs, for instance? Yes. So there are solutions that will make it so you save time, and so that all of this little sort of minutia that's so important gets done for you. Okay? Then you can focus on your craft. You can focus on your volume. Right? And so, essentially, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of things that we could discuss, obviously, and like obviously we're at this trade show right here. So if at some point you want to come across our booth, the company that I work for, again, is called House Call Pro. There's lots of other solutions. And we're in the business of helping your businesses get better. And we've found this out. And again, it's something that I think would be beneficial for everyone, to start putting the customer first and to really start honing in that customer experience and making it the best it can be with the amount of touches, in frequency, and in quality. And there's stuff out there to show you what to say. Like, let's say, oh, I don't know what to write in my email. I don't know what to write in my postcard. I don't know, I'm not really into that. Like, you can go online, you can find systems and processes, and you can hire people for $5 to do something like, hey, write this email for me. Here's $5, and they'll do it. It's called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. It's amazing. Like, oh, I don't know how to build, like, oh, I don't know what to say in my text. Like, here, just go on Facebook. Like, what should I say in my text? They'll do it for you. They'll do all the work for you. You just gotta, don't let anything block you. There's so many ways to proceed, to go forward, right?